Hi everyone, my name is Elizabeth Dewar, and the purpose of my thesis and research is to delve into integrating forensic science into a general science classroom in order to increase scientific literacy and student engagement. So this presentation will be mostly looking at how I plan to execute this research in the classroom due to the fact that I was not able to because of COVID-19 and the world kind of shut down. But I do really hope to execute this research plan in the future. So a little background on the traditional classroom. Sometimes a traditional classroom has the ability to lose the attention of students. Lecture after lecture, students stop seeing a purpose in the material and essentially get bored and quit. This can lead to lowered success levels and a poor classroom environment. Through integrating forensic science, real-world problem solving is used. This type of inquiry gives students a chance to find purpose in what they're learning and provides them with ways to connect the learning that they have in the classroom to the outside world. So as a student, I really struggled with finding a purpose in my science classes. The traditional classroom just was not for me. I couldn't stand sitting at a desk for 50 minutes at a time and listening to the teacher lecture. I stopped paying attention. I did really poorly on exams, and essentially I lost all confidence in myself. I ended up finding my love for science through CSI and Bones, the little forensic science television shows, and I fell in love with learning once I began my college courses because it was no longer like a traditional classroom, it was a lot of hands-on learning. So that's how I ended up getting my bachelor's degree in applied forensic science with a concentration in forensic anthropology, and I decided I wanted to help students find their love for science as well as begin my teaching journey to help students who ever felt like me lost their confidence. So after analyzing research performed on the integration of forensic science the past 15 years, I was able to form my hypothesis, which is that integrating forensic science into a general science classroom will increase scientific literacy and student engagement. This integration of forensic science can be as extensive as an entire unit plan, like I put together, or as simple as integrating fun forensic science activities into the classroom after a lesson. So, to the most important part of this presentation, I wanted to talk about my methods in how I plan to execute this in the classroom. So first I'm going to start off with a pre-survey that you can see at the top right of the screen here, right over here. All of these questions came from research that I had done on ways to kind of score students on their understanding and motivation for the science class. It is an anonymous survey, so students can feel comfortable telling the truth on how they enjoy science class or if they're motivated or if flat out it is just not for them. So after that pre-survey is done, I plan to collect all the surveys back and tally up their scores. So their 1 to 5 scores, 5 being the most satisfied and 1 being the least. And then I plan to um, give my 5-lesson unit plan. So I made these myself with a little help from the online community, trying to find some super fun forensic activities for secondary education students. In this case, the 5 lessons include Introduction to Forensic Science, Death Investigation, Trace Evidence, DNA Fingerprinting, and Forensic Anthropology. So I actually wanted to pull up one of my lesson plans here. So this is my DNA fingerprinting lesson plan. I use the Mercyhurst University lesson plan sheet. I also was able to find standards for forensic science and put some objectives and assessments in there as well. So for this procedure, um, I'll give a short PowerPoint, quick 20 minutes, let the students stand up, stretch. They learn about DNA and the importance of fingerprinting and how you can kind of find heredity within your DNA and your fingerprints. So after the lecture, I then plan to do a fingerprinting activity. So luckily this lesson plan I was able to do in the classroom before the world got crazy. And it was a fun activity where students take their own fingerprints. We tell them to take them home with them so that that the fingerprints don't fall into the wrong hands, what kind of things can happen if that were to occur. And then I gave them some tape and I let them get moving on identifying fingerprints and learning things about themselves through heredity through looking at their fingerprints. From doing just this activity, students were super motivated, engaged, paid attention to me, asked questions. It was really could not have gone any better. And then later, I also had a second activity within this lesson plan where I give them a fun virtual evidence collection. So they go onto their Chromebooks and they get to kind of go through the evidence collection on a website. So it's pretty cool. So after I do those type of lessons, I plan on re-giving out the survey that I talked about, the pre-survey, but I do plan on having a comment section so the students can let me know what they enjoyed or what I could have done better and how they really felt about the entire project. So results-wise, once again, although I was unable to perform this research, I do strongly believe that my research would be positive. I get this impression because of the research that I had done. All of them had positive results, an increase in student behavior, classroom environment, student engagement, and motivation. And yeah, so I think that once students are excited and motivated to learn with hands-on forensic science activities, you could get some really positive classroom environment results. So what does the future of integrating forensic science look like? So I strongly believe that continuing to integrate forensic science in the classroom can have a huge effect on student success. I also hope to see more research done on integrating forensic science into different levels of education, such as college courses. One of the research pieces that I looked into involved nursing classes and integrating forensic science. So it was used in order to teach nurses about collecting evidence when it comes to caring for victims of crimes. So forensic science has the ability to help more than just student engagement and scientific literacy. Once put into the real world, it can actually really save lives. So I do look forward to executing this research in the classroom once the world gets back to normal, and I hope that I can help students like me find their love for science through being able to connect the classroom to the outside world. So here are all of my references, and I hope you enjoyed my presentation. Thank you.